What is up, guys? Raj here with just a quick video on how to play a certain deck that I'm having a lot of success with right now. I'm going to leave a link to it obviously below in the description. Please, if you like these kinds of videos, hit the like, hit the subscribe, do all the things. Also, you'll see my link to Twitch. Don't forget to head over there and hit the follow button to see when I go live. I stream most Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays, maybe a Saturday or a Sunday depending on how things are going. Today I'm going to have a look at a Harmony deck, Mystic Echo more specifically. What I love about this deck is things like Portal. Portal is a great card to have in your deck. It tutors out the 2 4 provision cost cards in your deck, and those 2 4 provision cards are your Dryad Fledglings, who have, if you're not familiar already, have a keyword called Harmony. And what Harmony does is it boosts the character by 1 whenever you play a Scotail unit on your side whose primary category is unique. So if you have Dryads on the board and you play a Dwarf, everybody will get +1. Then when you play a Beast, everybody will get +1. The deck is designed to have a few different types of units in there, with multiple of them having Harmony. So your objective is to get as many units out as possible that have the Harmony keyword. I'm trying to find another one. Half-Elf Hunter's got Harmony, and then play them in an order where they get the most value from the Harmony keyword. What I would like to do now is show you how all this works, because it's all well and good talking about the different cards in here. Obviously, if you think there's better improvements to this deck, I'm all ears, but this deck has done great for me. I went 10-2 the other night with it, and I highly recommend you give it a shot. So let's play some games. The deck itself, as I mentioned already, revolves around Harmony. I honestly took me a while to get my head around the Harmony keyword. What you're trying to get in your opening hands are Hawker Smugglers. They're brilliant, so when you put them on the melee row, every allied turn, they boost a unit in your hand. You also want a few different, obviously you don't want the same one. Barnabas is very good too. You want to have Percival in your deck, or in your opening hand. Basically, any of your gold cards is a pretty good start. Having a Poison, 2 different cards that have poison as well also. I'll walk through those interactions in a second. And then having multiple different types. I've got dwarves, I've got gnomes, I've got dryads, I've got beasts. I also want to get rid of, sorry, I did that the very last second. You do not want to have those dryads in your opening hand, because if you draw Portal and you play Portal and the dryads are in your hand, the Portal will not pull the dryad cards. What I like to do at the very beginning of these games is try to get my Harmony characters down as early as possible. Now, what this tends to do is, especially if you play someone like Percival, is draw out the opponent's removal pretty quickly. That's not the end of the world though, to be honest, so I don't mind doing that. Sometimes I like playing Hawker Smugglers, but I want to get my Harmony activated. So if I play my Hawker Smuggler first, he's my only human, so he is an activator for Harmony. So I like getting Percival down. If I have him in my opening hand, he is a sticky unit to remove with 2 armor. So I'm generally not too afraid of playing him first turn. On Crate Longship, obviously a very painful unit to deal with. However, what I would say is one of my favorite parts of this deck is the control element that this deck has. So you've got lots of ways to remove units, but also ways to move units into rows where they no longer become a problem. So cards like Trained Hawk, which obviously has my Harmony keyword, which is wonderful, but also has this, how would I describe, versatility to play on different rows. So if I play him in the ranged row, I can move it to a different row. So I'm going to play my Trained Hawk in the ranged row. I can now move on Crate Longship into a different row, which means his ability no longer triggers because it only works in the melee row. And it also triggered, you can see Percival, Shooting Box, Harmony. And now he has Harmony too, so every time I play a creature that's not a gnome or a beast from now on, he'll get +2 strength. So I've instantly negated one of his more powerful bronze units. I've also got Kieran. What Kieran does is he's able to deploy, he's able to lock units, which also negates, so further adding to the control element that this deck has. That is probably going to be a little bit of a pain. What I'm thinking of playing is maybe some more Harmony stuff, but I think I'm actually going to play Hawker Smuggler, because this card becomes a big target and also continues to buff my cards as I play. So right now he has to answer this card here. Whenever an adjacent unit takes damage, boost self by 1. So this unit is obviously going to damage itself every turn. So what it's going to be able to do is trigger Heimei Protectors. So again, like I said earlier on, this deck has lots of ways to deal with problem units. So what I have in my hand is Melaine, and what Melaine does is if I put her in the melee row, she's able to deal 4 damage. If I put her in the ranged row, I can deal 4 damage and separate it, which is really versatile depending on the style of deck you're playing. So I'm going to play her in the melee row because I want to get rid of this 4 strength unit, because what it'll do is he no longer has this auto trigger to buff Haymate Protector. I'm also going to use Tactical Advantage now, just to kind of put my Hawker Smuggler out of range of any direct damage and keep him safe. I'm quite far ahead at this point, so I want my opponents to start investing resources to try and catch me. As I mentioned already, it's got severely good ways of dealing with problem units. As mentioned previously, it has multiple ways. It's got poisons, it's got locks, it's got direct damage, and it's also got the ability to move units out of rows so they no longer become a threat. What I'm thinking of playing here is actually my Dwarf Berserker, because I haven't played a Dwarf yet, and I'm going to have 2 units that are going to trigger with Harmony. He'll also start dealing 4 damage, or damage every turn. What he does at the end of the turn, he deals 1 damage to himself, and then deals 1 damage to an opponent. So he does that until he loses all his shields. So basically 4 turns of this. He's playing a bronze unit from his ship. Okay, so he's playing the unit that he destroyed earlier on. I think I'm actually going to pass right now. I'm quite far ahead, and I'd like for him to just spend more resources. I'm also going to get a couple more turns of Hawker Smuggler. Or will I pass? I might actually just play Barnabas here. What Barnabas does is he's a gnome. Now he won't trigger the Harmony because I already have a gnome on the board, but what it will do is give +4. It might just put me out of range and help me win the round. So I think I will play Barnabas. I wish I had a Dryad on the board, but unfortunately that's not the case. But like I said, I think it's just enough to push me ahead in this round, and it did. So just to secure that round, and also Hawker Smuggler then continues to buff my hand. So you can see getting a Hawker Smuggler on the board that can't be answered just helps you win the long game as well. Round 2, I'm going to pass because I'm a card behind, so I want to dig for the good cards in my deck like Portal and stuff. I have no problem mulliganing a few cards just to try and get the Waters of Broccolon. Obviously is one of the most powerful cards in my deck because it synchronizes with my hero power. So yeah, I'm just going to pass. I'm going to let him spend a card, and we will probably go toe-to-toe in round 3. Okay, so round 3, again, I want to dig for my Portal. It's such a powerful card. If I can find it, it'll help me win this game quite well. I'm going to get rid of that guy. Bingo! That's the card we're looking for, because what it's going to allow me to do is I am going to be able to absolutely flood the board with Dryads now. If you pull Portal, either turn 1, I think it's just a card you need to continually mulligan for, because you'll see exactly what it's about to do now in a second. It just helps tutor to your deck so well. I'm so happy I was able to show this card when recording this video. I'm not sure what he's debating. He's maybe debating playing his hero power, play a Skellige unit from the graveyard. What would he play from his graveyard? Probably play on Craig's Longship. I think that would be a good call. If I was him, that's a card I would be playing right now, but I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do next round is I'm actually going to play Waters of Broccolon, and then I'm going to trigger it again with Mystic Echo. So he's playing Ermion, playing Alchemy deck card from his deck. Alright, so he's playing Bronze unit. Yeah, that's a good play, if you ask me. So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to play this again. What also is really challenging about this deck is you have to plan out your turns. Now obviously you want to react to what's on your opponent's board, but you also kind of want to ignore it to a small degree, because you want to play in the correct order. You don't want to play units, you know, more than once. So this Dryad Ranger has the ability to poison units, so it's probably not a bad idea to poison some units. And also having a Dryad out on the board is also a good shout as well. So I think I am actually going to poison this unit, because it's going to get buffed as units on my row get damaged. Ooh, purify a unit. Oh no, that is a bit of a disaster. Did he purify it? I thought he purified the unit. Obviously he didn't. Okay, interesting. I think I'm just going to kill it. Am I doing something wrong? Or is it a bug? Do you know what? I think it is. It's a bug. He actually purified that unit and it didn't remove the icon. I was being a bit cheeky there. I should have just played Brian So what I want to do is remove this guy because he is going to basically start doing damage. So what I'm going to do here, ooh, what's this? Whenever an enemy unit, okay, so let's do it this way. So if I control 2 dryads or more, I'm going to play this card. Ooh, I forgot that they would get buffed. That's my bad. Let's just start removing some scores off the board here, because they're going to keep going up. I might as well just do some damage where I can. Yeah, that's definitely a graphical error with the latest bug. I know there has been several graphical errors. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dryads, all who get +1 whenever I play a unit that is... Ooh, this could be a unit I want to lock. Because with this one, whenever an enemy takes damage, boost self by 1. I have no doubt that he has multiple. He probably has that long ship boar. What's that one? Wild boar of the sea. So I'm definitely going to lock that creature. And then give him all my dryads +1. Or I won't say all my dryads, all my creatures with harmony +1. So you can see this deck has great control. It's got great ways to score big scores. It's got some fun interactions that just help buff your hand, buff your deck as you go, and provide lots of good answers to difficult problem cards. So I'm going to play this elf, even though it triggers nothing for the time being. It already had +2, but what it does have again is the harmony keyword. I still have a dwarf to play and I still have a machine to play. So as long as I can keep these creatures alive, we should get another +1 to all my harmony creatures twice, in theory. I know people in my chat are pointing out some of the graphical glitches with the latest update. BC, thank you very much. If you're not aware, this recording can also, I'm also recording this live on Twitch at the moment. You'll find links to my Twitch in the description. Damage unit by 6 times. Okay, so that's going to help these guys get plenty of buffs, which is a pain, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. Alright, so it doesn't look good for this deck, but we're going to keep playing till the end and see what happens. So I probably should have played this card earlier in the round because, well, actually no, sorry, it's got its armor. I seem to be heavily countered by this deck. I love when you record guide videos and then you lose. Destroy an enemy artifact, that's fine. It doesn't really affect the game at all. I think I'm just going to play my Dwarven Chariot right now because he is incentivized to remove some of the creatures that are on the board. This is a machine, so it will trigger all the stuff. Yeah, I think I've lost this game, unfortunately. Yeah, Wild Boar of the Sea was in his hand all along. I don't think I stood a chance, to be honest with you. Still, he played some good cards, he played a good deck. I don't think I stood a chance. Perhaps there's some errors I've made earlier in the game or cards I should have mulliganed for. I feel I played the deck pretty well. If you do have any suggestions of cards maybe that I could add to this, yeah, this is the game over, unfortunately. We'll play another game. Don't worry. You win some, you lose some. Okay, so as I said in the first video, we're digging deep for our portal, if we can find it or not. We've got our Hawker Smugglers in hand. We have both of them, so I think I'm incentivized to play them early, or at least play one early. It'll draw out his removal. So he's looking to lock some cards right now. I have to imagine he wants to lock a Hawker Smuggler. I feel like I need to remove that Hawker Smuggler pretty early in the game. Sorry, I'm talking nonsense there. Not the Hawker Smuggler, the Master of Disguise. I think playing something low value early is no harm here. Give him no targets, because I know his deck is going to be fairly reactionary. Although saying that, I could just play Malayan and just remove that straight from the board. Playing a Hawker Smuggler right now means it's immediately going to get locked, no doubt. I think I'm just going to play a Half-Elf Hunter and maybe trying to bait out some of his locks. There's a good target for Malayan. We want to get rid of this 4-strength creature. This engine is going to be a hard one to deal with if it gets too big. She is such a good answer for those early game cards that you know are just going to get serious value over time. Really strong add to the deck. I'm just thinking, what will I do here? I think I'm actually going to play my Beast to move it into the range row. Again, negating the ability for it to do any long-term damage. And again, none of these cards are really big threats for him, but I would like him to start using his locks on them. I think I'm going to play my Hawker Smuggler now. Again, like I have 2 of them. I think he's had to make some suboptimal plays. So I'm kind of happy to play some good cards now. I have to imagine he's got some poison now that he wants to use on these guys. These are pretty low impact units at this time, so I don't mind him using poisons. So here we go, he's using his lock abilities, which is fine. I like the new animation. This card is going to get troublesome. So what I'm thinking is we potentially lock it ourselves. I could also play my Waters of Brock. I think it's too late to play my Water of Broccolon, so I am going to play and lock this card. I don't want it to get any more value. I don't mind losing the first round if I get to bait out all his strongest cards. I have been playing just pretty much bronze cards up until this point. Sorry, I lie. I've been playing Melaine and Kieran. This is a good card for me to bait out early. I'm more than happy to do that. This is a really good swing card for him long term. So what I'm thinking of playing maybe now is playing my Hawker Smuggler. Again, get some value over time. I don't mind losing. I might just get some buffed cards in hand for future rounds. And also, I might bait out some long-term big cards from his side. Perfect. I don't mind. As I said, I wanted to bait out some of his sort of big hands. And we get 2 more rounds to dig through my deck a little more. Try and get my portal. Fauve is another really strong card, because what she does is you basically play a nature card from my deck. So it means I don't have to draw Waters of Broccolon. I can draw Fauve, and she will automatically pull that from my deck. Again, I'm looking for my portal, and what I'd like to do is play something pretty weak on this turn. There's nothing. He's passed. I wish I had a weak card, to be honest with you. My Dwarf Berserker is probably my weakest card, so to speak. My Dryad Ranger would be my weakest, only it got buffed twice. Having a Harmony unit and also having the poison ability will help, so I think I'm just going to play my Dwarven Berserker. While it's not a weak card per se, it is my weakest card. So I don't need my Waters of Broccolon. Unfortunately, I've drawn my 2 Dryad Fledglings, so I am going to mulligan both of these cards, because I don't mind. I have another nature card in my deck which Fauve can draw. There's my portal. Oh my god, I've drawn both my nature cards, so now essentially Fauve is dead in my hand. That is frustrating, guys. I suppose on the plus side, I did get my portal, which is good, so I'm going to play my portal. You need to get your Harmony units out early. That is really unfortunate, guys. I've drawn both nature cards, so essentially Fauve becomes a dead card in my hand. I don't know if I can win this, but I think you can see the combo that I'm trying to pull off. Okay, so this card here is pretty, I want to say pretty dangerous, because he's gonna have lots and lots of status. So I am kind of incentivized. I do have removal though. I do have poison. So what I am thinking of doing is playing some of this. I'm also pretty safe to play all my Dryads. Well, I think I am. He's played his, sorry, remind me again, it's Orcs. So I have played a game where I did a massive turn like this, where I had all my Dryads on the board. My opponent played Orcs, and he was able to lock all copies of the Dryad, basically negating the entire combo of this. That's fine with me. So I think I'm just going to remove this Thirsty Dame while I can. I can damage an enemy unit by 5. I wish I could play... Why does that unit have a shield? Oh, do you know what? There's a UI bug as well. My Dryad Fledgling has a shield. Wonderful. So I am 20 points ahead, but that doesn't mean I'm relaxing here, to be honest with you. Yeah, well, like I thought, he was going to have lots of ways to buff, etc. this hand. So what I'm thinking right now is I'm going to save Brain for 3 damage spot. I think I'm going to play some Harmony stuff. I'm going to play... I would like to poison some units. So let's play my Dryad first, and we will damage an enemy unit and give it poison. I'm hoping that poison's nice. The UI did kick in there. Cleaver's Muscle is a card that I'm not 100% certain on whether it should be in the deck long term. It is another Dwarf activator for Harmony, which is nice. Interesting that they're poisoning different cards. Oh, so he's obviously played Harmony because he knows there's going to be other cards to draw out. That's okay. I think I just play my Weeping Willow now, just to poison this card and kill it. and also then proc all my harmony stuff. I have a machine which will trigger all my harmony cards as well. I also have a gnome which will trigger all my harmony. The only problem is I have a dryad, I have no dwarf, and I have no elf. No elf, unfortunately. So only my dryad is getting a ability. Oh well. So he seems to be playing cards from my hardener right now. So let me play. Yeah, I'm going to play Brain here. Trigger the 3 damage. That's fine with me. Keep her nice and low. Locking units. That's fine with me. I have a funny feeling this guy didn't draw so great. But that's not to say like I didn't draw so great either. This Dryad is pretty bad. I'm going to play this card. Unfortunately, there's nothing in my deck to trigger it. But I am going to save my Gnome for maybe a later turn. Hopefully he can't pull it back. Damage an enemy unit by 1, then give it poison. That's fine as well. Oh, sorry. I completely forgot that my Dwarven Chariot spawns a dwarf, which is also another trigger for Barnabas, who gets to boost an allied elf, dwarf, and dryad. So at the moment, I have a board full of dryads. Oh, he's passed. Okay, interesting. So just to see the final combo, there's an elf, there's a dryad, and then the gnome buffs everybody. So as you can see, the deck, perhaps I got too far ahead there early. The harmony sort of triggered really well late in the game. While he could poison, while he could lock, he couldn't do enough damage. Just a quick look at the deck again. So chat is giving out to me for BMing. I wasn't BMing. I was just showing people watching the video how to do it. I'm aware that you shouldn't play the final part of your combo. I'd also like to put that knowledge forward to people watching the video. Treat your opponent with respect. Give the GGs, obviously. I just wanted to show them the combo. BC, give me a break. So obviously, I think there is room for improvement in this deck. I think it's a generally low budget deck. So if you are looking to find decks that are cheap to build and are effective, I highly recommend this deck. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow me over on Twitch as well. You can see when I go live. I'd really appreciate it. If you like this kind of content, let me know, because then I'll make more. If you have any decks or you have any suggestions, hit me up as well in the chat. Thanks, guys. See you later.